said that he was going to build a house. But he couldn't build that house. You will see later. And the Bible shows us why. God told David, your hands has so much blood, so you can't build. Now I want you to remember, oftentimes I've told you that the Old Testament is a shadow of things to come. It's a shadow of things to come. So in the Old Testament, we see shadows. In the New Testament, we see realities. We see realities. And David is a type of Christ. David is a type of Christ. Now, David had this house to be built. He had this house to be built, the house of God. When Jesus came, he also had a house to build. Jesus said, I will build my church. I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I'll build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. David had his hands full of the blood of men. Jesus had his hands full of our blood, of his blood. Come on, amen. You know, he died for the world. David went into battle and fought battles so that Solomon can live in rest. Jesus fought battles so that you and I can live in his rest. You know? So you see that in the reign of Solomon, Solomon did not fight one battle. And the Bible shows us of the sufferings of Christ and the glory that should follow the sufferings of Christ. So Jesus suffered. He suffered. He went to war on our behalf and fought. The Bible says he spoiled principalities and powers. He made an open show of them. So just like David went to war, Jesus went to war. But just like Solomon entered into the rest that David provided, we have entered into rest. Come on, amen. David taught Solomon. Solomon said in Proverbs, he said, I'm a father's child, or my father's son. And he says, he taught me also. He taught me also. He taught me to go after wisdom. When God came to Solomon and said, Solomon, what do you want? Solomon said, wisdom. Why? Because his father, David, taught him to go for wisdom. But praise be to God. In the New Testament, Jesus didn't just teach us to go for wisdom. Jesus became our wisdom. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 30 says that he has become our righteousness. He has become our justification. He has become our wisdom. He's our sanctification. He's our wisdom. So Christ is my Sophia. Come on, amen. But just like David couldn't build the house, also Jesus, when he said, I will build my church, immediately he made a connection. In speaking to Peter that day, he said, I'll build my church and the gates of hell shall not prevail over it. Then he said to Peter, you are Petros. You know, the Greek word, when he said you are Peter, the word is Petros. And in saying that, he connected Peter with his agenda. He said, you are Petros. Then he says, on this Petra, I will build my church. That means you are Petros. Petros is that little stone that maybe you see there and you're looking at it, you know, emerging out of the ground, and you think it's a small stone. So you go there and you want to kick it or you want to take it out. Then as you try to take it out, you find out that it is not going out. Then you start opening the ground and you're digging around it. You find out that it's a little stone founded on a much bigger stone. So right there he said, you are Petros, but I'm the Petra. That means you are the little stone founded on the great rock, Jesus Christ. And you know what Paul said? Paul said, no foundation can be laid than that which has already been laid. So Jesus is the foundation. But you know, a foundation is not the building. Who understands that? So Jesus is the foundation. Then you ask the question, what about the pillar? Jesus laid the foundation. Who is going to lay the pillar? What about the pillar? What about the slabs? How many story is this building? David said to Solomon, he says, this building will be exceeding magnificent. It will be a magnificent building. It will be a magnificent building. That you're not owing someone don't mean you are fine. You're not owing anybody, but you can't help anybody. You can't help anybody. You can do nothing. All your debts have been paid, but you are not living. Bible says they who receive the abundance of grace. The abundance of grace. The abundance. Some receive grace. They've not come into the abundance of grace.